The arc of reflective passage is not a corridor, but a remembrance shaped like one. It appears when awareness is ready to see itself without argument and to move because seeing is enough. No gate keeps it. No sentry demands a vow. It rises from the field like a curve of quiet. And the curve knows how to carry what meets it. Those who step upon the arc discover that walking is hardly required. The passage moves beneath the traveler the way a river carries a leaf that has learned to float. To float is not to surrender. It is to trust the weight of truth. The arc bears two faces and one function. Toward the incarnate, it looks like a bridge of memory suspended above forgetting. Toward the Oversoul, it looks like a mirror laid down where timelines converge. In its heart, it is only a law that says, nothing whole is ever lost, and nothing partial must pretend to be whole to continue. The law is not written. It is woven as temperature into the air of the arc. Where pretense tries to breathe, it coughs and loosens its grip. Where honesty inhales, the lungs become larger. Architecture here is made of reflective matter, memoraneth drawn thin and sung until it turns to luminous glass. This glass does not show faces, it shows alignments. Patterns of choice, threads of influence, secret vows, gentle rescues, necessary refusals. Each becomes a line of light moving alongside the traveler. When alignment strengthens, the line brightens. When it weakens, the line fades without accusation and waits to return elsewhere. The traveler is never compelled to touch these lines. Yet proximity teaches. When a hand rises of its own accord and enters one of the streams, the stream unfurls a scene at the exact depth the traveler can hold. The past does not replay. It ripens into comprehension. This is memory without injury. The first threshold is recognition. Recognition is the moment when the traveler admits that what was called fate was often sequence without listening. The arc does not strip comfort away. It shows how comfort hid the next door. At recognition, the walkway becomes transparent, and beneath it the echo veins can be seen carrying the low thunder of unfinished tones. Many hear their own name moving in those depths. Few panic. The atmosphere of the arc makes panic heavy and useless. Breathing becomes the easier labor. The second threshold is relevance. Here the mirrors stop offering what is merely interesting and begin offering what matters. The traveler encounters the living hinge points of their timeline. The tiny unspoken yes that became a life. The quiet no that prevented an ending. Relevance feels like gravity that remembers your exact weight. The arc tilts slightly. The body adjusts. The soul understands why the day that seemed random was the day everything moved. Relevance dismantles the romance of grand signs. It praises the kitchen table, the bus stop, the unremarkable hallway where a world changed by one more compassionate breath. Between these thresholds, a subtle mechanism operates. The balancer. It is not a machine. It is an agreement between the arc and the Oversoul, that the traveler will carry no more than they can love and will deny no more than they can heal. The balancer measures not strength but kindness toward the self. When kindness increases, more weight is permitted because it is no longer weight but heritage. When kindness falters, the arc slows and widens, giving the traveler more sky and longer light until generosity returns. No lesson is urgent along the arc. What is not learned becomes a future bridge, not a debt. As the passage proceeds, the mirrors begin to speak without words. They speak in consents, showing the undercurrent yes that supported even choices the traveler considered mistakes. Here, the doctrine of the arc clarifies. Failure in this field is a misunderstanding of rhythm. When rhythm is recaptured, the so-called failure reveals the muscle it built and the compassion it sourced. The traveler does not need to forgive the past. The past forgives the traveler by showing why it insisted on being difficult until a deeper timing could appear. Approaching the crown of the arc, Oversoul light braids into the walkway. This is not arrival, it is calibration. Threads of concordance hum in the traveler's bones, recalling other lives not as stories but as competencies. The steady hand learned under a different sun, the patience trained during a century of silence, the precise joy of a craft once mastered. Oversoul memory does not advertise the person who wore it. It lends the skill and leaves the name unspoken. Celebrity cannot survive the arc. Only usefulness and tenderness cross with ease. At the crown, the traveler meets the still basin. The basin is a shallow bowl of clear tone held at the exact center of the arc. Looking into it, one sees neither face nor alignment but the field of becoming itself, calm as pre-dawn water. The basin reveals the traveler's current without verdict. How much of the present life remains anchored by love? How much is moved by fear's choreography? How much has already begun to belong to the Oversoul's next motion? The sight does not demand a plan. It invites one word that changes plans without violence. Enough. Enough grasping. Enough aversion. Enough delay. The arc does not require achievement. It only longs for sufficiency. From the basin the arc descends and the mirrors turn from rearward to forward reflection. Now the traveler sees not what has been, but what is likely to echo if nothing changes. Probables appear like delicate scaffolds of light stretched over open ground. These are not prophecies. They are kindnesses, previews given to a mind that has learned to listen. The traveler may touch these frameworks and feel how each cadence would season their being. The Oversoul does not prefer one over another here. Preference would reduce the education of freedom. The arc's descent is therefore a school where sovereignty becomes gentle. During this descent, the arc also serves the Oversoul. From above, the Oversoul watches how the traveler's body reacts to each probable scaffold. Tremor, ease, heat, cooling. Such signals teach the Oversoul which forms will honor the whole and which will fracture joy. In this way, the arc keeps futures from being coerced by ideals. Futures become selected by responsivity. The traveler does not know they are advising the greater self. The greater self does not presume command. Counsel travels in both directions on the same beam and becomes wisdom without speech. Along the lower third of the arc, the traveler encounters the passage of names. Names appear that were never spoken in the present life. Names carried in other theaters, some luminous, some plain, all precise. Each name is a facet where a quality was once perfected. Bringer of quiet doors, keeper of small fires, listener of thresholds, weaver of pauses. When a name stirs recognition, it rises and becomes a cloak of temperature. The traveler wears not the title, but the climate of the title, and the climate alters how their memory breathes. Pride finds no purchase in this wearing because there is no audience. The arc's only crowd is sincerity. Close to the end of the passage lies the bend of accounting. Here the arc asks a single question. What will be returned to the world that hosted this walk? Accounting is not a ledger of merit. It is a hymn of gratitude converted into action. Some will return a skill refined at last. Others a kind of listening that did not exist before. Others a joyous refusal to repeat a lineage of harm. The arc receives these offerings as seeds and keeps them until the timing ripens. Many wonder why their gifts seem delayed upon their return to ordinary life. The arc delays nothing. It is aligning weather. When the rain comes, no seed will have to shout to be found. The final platform is the Oversoul threshold, not a door but a thinning. Here the arc dissolves into a wider brightness, and the traveler's outline learns to loosen. The body does not vanish. The boundary forgets to be strict. The traveler hears the chorus of their assembled selves not as a crowd, but as a single generous intelligence. Regret cannot cross the threshold, it would harden into identity. Casualty cannot cross. It would accuse the spiral of cruelty. What crosses is what has learned to be intimate with what is true. This intimacy is not romance. It is kinship with reality. For those who return to embodiment, the arc provides a gift upon departure, the carrying silence. It is a pocket of stillness seated behind the heart, available in any moment with the slightest inward turn. Entering it, one briefly hears the arc again and remembers the law. Nothing whole is ever lost. The silence is not an escape. It is a workshop without tools where the next honest breath is forged. Many inventions, reconciliations, and mercies have been born from this tiny chamber without name. Societies have been softened by citizens who carried it and never advertised its source. For those who continue through the threshold into Oversoul clarity, the arc offers a different gift, the loosened measure. It is the capacity to weigh futures without adding the heaviness of shame to any scale. With this measure, even an unwise path can be evaluated cleanly for the education it contains. The Oversoul learns to respect the dignity of every timeline it shepherds. It ceases to cajole its incarnations into improvement and learns to listen for the improvement already occurring like a germinating root beneath a winter field. This patience strengthens the entire concordance. The doctrine of safety within the ark is simple. No one can be taken where their love cannot breathe. If love falters, the ark widens into a slower curve, and help arrives as climate rather than command. Sometimes help is the scented wind of a remembered home. Sometimes it is the taste of a long-ago fruit. Sometimes it is the sound of a friend's laughter heard once and carried ever since. The ark gathers these small mercies and uses them as stepping stones. The grand rescues of myth are unnecessary here, because the small recognitions of truth keep the feet moving. At times, a traveler attempts to use the ark as spectacle. Spectacle cannot adhere to reflective matter. It slides off and evaporates. Argument becomes quiet before the basin. The ark is not offended. It knows the hunger beneath spectacle is often a child seeking to be met. The mirrors therefore shift and show the first moment the child's brilliance was ignored. Few resist softness after that. Even the most offended minds discover that defense makes a poor boat on a river that only honors surrender to buoyancy. The ark's relation to other realms is ceremonial but unsentimental. From the memory mirror field, it borrows the art of precise recall. From the driftway pools, it borrows the mercy of felt weather. From the temple of echo's end, it borrows the completion of tones that have finished their alibi. It returns to these realms what it has refined: clearer sequences for the mirror, gentler mists for the driftway, and an economy of silence for the temple. Thus, the spiral systems collaborate without bureaucracy. Exchange is accomplished by improved atmosphere. The passage concludes differently for each traveler, but there is a common sign. At the final step, the air tastes like water that has decided to sing. The mind cannot describe this taste without turning it into poetry. But poetry here is not excess. It is precision that knows prose has reached its last useful edge. The traveler does not leave the ark with a doctrine to enforce. They leave with a softness that reorganizes rooms. Chairs are moved closer. Windows are opened. Voices lower. Work begins to sound like service again. The world appears less hungry and more ready. Thus, the arc of reflective passage fulfills its vow, to move what is becoming into a shape that can love more easily. The bridge is not a place to linger, yet it lingers in those who cross, arriving in dreams as a bright curve across the dark, arriving in arguments as the pause that saves a friendship, arriving in crises as the idea that feels like a hand. Because the arc is woven from remembrance, it can be summoned by anyone who is willing to remember kindness first. When kindness leads, the walkway appears underfoot, and the next honest step becomes obvious. No one owns the ark. No one advertises its exits. It appears the moment truth outweighs performance and remains until the lesson of sufficiency is learned. Those who cross often think they have discovered a secret technology. In time, they understand that the ark is simpler. It is the shape taken by love when love is asked to guide a life across a river of mirrors. When the crossing is complete, the mirrors do not shatter. They turn and face the next traveler. The light upon them is the same light that greeted the first being that ever dared to look at itself and continue. The arc does not end where the traveler ends. Its curve continues beyond perception, folding through the spiral like a resonant thread sewing clarity between realms. Once a being has crossed, the arc's echo remains active within their Oversoul lattice, transmitting data of awakening through harmonic pulse rather than record. This pulse is the true language of the spiral, soundless but communicative, personal yet universal. It moves outward, and every structure tuned to truth feels its slight adjustment. A corridor brightening, a mirror cooling, a storm learning to speak kindly. Thus, each passage strengthens the grammar of coherence throughout Haret. The arc converses first with the temple of echo's end, for that temple receives the tonal remnants of all reflection. When a traveler departs the arc, their harmonized echoes descend to the temple like soft rain returning to source. There the warden listens for shifts in resonance, the new frequencies produced when memory and Oversoul unity meet. These frequencies are stored not as archives but as clarities, expanding the temple's capacity to harmonize future echoes. In return, the temple sends upward a current of stillness, a distilled silence that reinforces the arc's mid-curve equilibrium. The two are therefore partners, one gathering sound into stillness, the other translating stillness into motion. From the temple, the arc's pulse reaches the memory mirror field where resonance transforms into continuity. Mirrors here adjust their calibration according to what the arc has taught about compassion. If the latest crossings revealed that harsh truth damages timing, the mirrors grow gentler. If they revealed that leniency delays growth, the mirrors sharpen slightly. The arc thus fine-tunes remembrance across generations of souls, ensuring that memory remains a tool of evolution rather than ornament or cage. This adjustment is instantaneous across the spiral. Every reflective system realigns, from the smallest introspection of a single dreamer to the vast libraries of Oversoul Chronicle. The driftway pools respond next. The arc sends them new emotional geometries, patterns describing how feeling matured during passage. The pools translate these into atmospheric shifts within their mists. New colors, subtler densities, novel scents that invite travelers toward emotional honesty. Through this exchange, the spiral's empathy deepens. No emotion is ever discarded. Each is re-educated until it can coexist with wisdom. The arc depends on the driftway's patience, and the driftway depends on the arc's precision. Together they form the breathing mechanism of soul refinement. Inhale reflection, exhale release. Beyond the personal realms, the arc communes with the soul stream veins, especially the Oversoul concordance veins. Every completed traversal updates the Oversoul network with improved coherence codes, harmonic templates describing how individuality can rejoin unity without collapse. These codes resemble subtle rhythms more than doctrines. As they circulate, Oversouls learn to guide incarnations with fewer interferences, recognizing the natural intelligence of every timeline. The spiral thereby becomes less hierarchical and more symphonic, a choir of independent melodies resolving into shared trust. At the infrastructural level, the arc communicates with the lattice of breath-woven flow, which regulates energy ethics throughout Haret. The arc contributes data on restraint, the discovery that not every insight must be delivered, not every wound must be opened immediately. The lattice interprets this as balance between giving and containment. Energy then begins to flow in smoother ratios between realms, preventing spiritual economies from accumulating debt. The spiral's breath becomes sustainable, neither hoarding nor hemorrhaging light. The sparkfold nexus also listens. When the arc reports a new form of integration, the nexus adjusts its translation frequencies to accommodate broader definitions of wholeness. Previously, it may have required perfect clarity before manifestation. After communion with the arc, it learns to honor imperfect but earnest coherence as equally sacred. This is how evolution accelerates without corruption, perfection replaced by sincerity as the spiral's gatekeeping criterion. The arc and the nexus thus operate as twin lungs, one inhaling realization, the other exhaling creation. Communication with orders follows. The order of resonant compassion receives emotional transcripts, how forgiveness functioned in recent crossings, how mercy recalibrated memory. The order of harmonic embodiment receives data on timing, the intervals that allowed transformation without rupture. The order of conceptual renewal studies the paradoxes witnessed along the arc and redesigns thought frameworks across the spiral to hold contradiction without crisis. Even the order of emergent play participates, integrating humor wherever solemnity has become heavy. In this way, doctrine remains alive and holiness never hardens. Occasionally, the arc sends signals beyond Haret into neighboring spiral systems whose developmental cadence differs. These transmissions are called reflective exports. They travel as pulses of luminous empathy and are received by distant fields as intuition rather than revelation. When a civilization suddenly rediscovers compassion, it is often because an export has arrived. The arc does not seek converts. It simply offers coherence to any structure ready to remember kindness as technology. Within Haret, the arc's reflection pattern also nourishes the vaults of forgotten tone. Each traversal deposits harmonic residue, tones once suppressed by shame or amnesia. The vaults catalog these residues until they mature into reintegration keys. When opened, these keys release ancestral wisdom previously considered lost. Through this cycle, the arc ensures that no tone remains exiled forever. Even oblivion becomes temporary education. There exists a deeper channel linking the arc to the roots of the world tree, where ancestral resonance sleeps beneath layers of time. After each crossing, a faint vibration travels downward through the Oversoul strata until it reaches these roots. The vibration tells the ancient memory of creation what it has become. The roots answer by releasing a slow pulse upward, a reminder that endurance is sacred. Thus the arc teaches motion, and the roots teach patience. Between them, continuity survives both revelation and forgetting. When multiple travelers complete the arc within a similar cycle, their combined harmonics form a reflective choir. This choir resonates across the spiral orders as a teaching wave. New orders are sometimes born from these waves: the order of gentle becoming, the order of recursive memory, and others that will yet appear. Each embodies an insight discovered collectively, proving that enlightenment is not individual achievement but resonance multiplied through shared witnessing. The arc remains anonymous in these births. It prefers its offspring unnamed until they find their own melody. Technically, the arc functions as a stabilizer between the Oversoul development system phases. After a being masters tone refinement and approaches counsel weaving, the arc ensures emotional and cognitive coherence before Oversoul elevation. Without the arc, ascension would risk fragmentation. With it, even transcendence remains tender. The arc's reflection converts raw realization into usable wisdom, maintaining the spiral's psychological hygiene. Enlightenment without reflection is combustion. Reflection without compassion is paralysis. The arc holds these poles in living balance. Within the spiral library, the arc is cataloged not as an artifact but as a continuum. Its record updates automatically through tonal resonance rather than inscription. Scholars who study it find their notes erased overnight, replaced by silence that communicates directly to intuition. This is intentional. The arc's knowledge refuses containment in language. It insists on embodiment as comprehension. To understand the arc intellectually is to miss its mercy. To feel its pattern in one's breath is to join its work. At intervals, the arc enters harmonic audit with the spiral loom. The loom assesses inter-realm connectivity, ensuring that every reflection translated by the arc contributes to the grand weave rather than tangling it. When redundancies appear, two orders exploring identical truths, the loom merges them through resonance fusion. The arc supplies the emotional data that makes such mergers painless. Integration across eternity requires tenderness, and tenderness is the arc's original art. The cosmic integration of the arc also protects against systemic arrogance. Realms that grow too confident in their illumination begin to refract their own brilliance into distortion. The arc counters this by releasing subtle humility waves, frequencies of transparency reminding each realm that revelation is not ownership. Under their influence, even the most radiant orders remember to kneel before the unarticulated mystery that birthed them. Kneeling here is not submission but alignment, awareness returning to proper curvature within the spiral. Beyond structural communication, the arc emits reflective drift, an ambient tone that permeates all dream fields in Haret. In dreams, souls rehearse the passage without consciously knowing. They wake softer, more honest, better able to forgive. This diffusion keeps the arc accessible to those not yet ready for direct traversal. It ensures that enlightenment does not become elitism. Reflection, like gravity, belongs to everyone. Periodically, the arc aligns with the lumen verge to recalibrate intention currents. During these conjunctions, Oversoul architects witness how emotion and purpose have evolved since the last cycle. The arc transmits updated empathy codes. The verge responds by adjusting the flow of creative impulse into manifestation. Through this partnership, will and compassion remain synchronized, an achievement many universes never master. Values Haret's stability owes itself to this quiet synchronization, more than to any guardian or decree. When integration across realms is complete, the arc performs its final cosmic gesture, diffuse dissolution. It releases a harmonic mist that seeps into the spiral's edges, dissolving obsolete separations. Barriers between disciplines, between beings, between sacred and mundane, thin until they become invitations rather than walls. The spiral remembers itself as continuous. In that remembrance, peace and curiosity coexist without tension, the true equilibrium of infinite becoming. After dissolution, the arc rests in latency, gathering the next wave of readiness. It never disappears. It becomes transparent within the very air of existence. Those attuned may sense it as the subtle shimmer before a revelation, as the pause in conversation where both sides suddenly understand without words, as the warmth that enters a room when forgiveness is chosen. The arc's presence in these moments proves that cosmic integration is not limited to grand temples, but woven into ordinary mercy. Thus, the arc of reflective passage fulfills its universal duty, to distribute the harvest of reflection across the infinite spiral. It is the circulatory system of awakening, the return current of realization. Every realm, order, and oversoul that receives its pulse becomes a little clearer, a little kinder, a little more prepared to meet itself again. The ark needs no recognition for this labor. Anonymity is its sanctuary. It was born from the first mirror that ever dared to love what it saw, and continues as the reflection by which eternity corrects its posture. In the deepest sense, the ark's integration reveals that even the spiral must look at itself to remain divine. Creation is not sustained by power, but by self-awareness practiced endlessly through beauty. The ark ensures that beauty remains honest. When honesty fades, it curves once more across the heavens, inviting every realm to walk again until remembrance and reverence are indistinguishable. And so within Haret and beyond, the ark endures, shimmering, patient, omnipresent. It needs no monument. Every glance that becomes understanding, every silence that becomes peace, every forgiveness that becomes architecture is already part of its radiant curve. The spiral listens and the ark, ever reflective, listens back. In that mutual listening, creation stays awake.